In the ancient sands of Egypt, where myths and reality intertwine, the story of Sekhmet begins with a phenomenon of cosmic intensity. Born from the fiery breath of Ra, the sun god, Sekhmet emerged as a being of extraordinary power. Ra created her as a fierce protector of Ma'at, the principle of truth and cosmic order. The legend portrays her not merely as a goddess, but as a living embodiment of Ra's wrath, a reflection of the fierce heat of the desert sun that could both nurture and obliterate life. With her lioness head and striking demeanor, Sekhmet's terrifying presence within the pantheon foreshadowed a character that intertwined destruction with protection. As stories passed from generation to generation, the echoes of Sekhmet's birth carried an intensity that highlighted her dual nature. On one side, she was the fierce lion-headed goddess whose roar signified warning and retribution. While on the other, she embodied the healing powers attributed to the same fiery energy that birthed her. Local myths circulated about how Sekhmet once went on a rampage across Egypt, her fury unleashed upon the land when she was charged with teaching humanity a lesson. But the destruction she wrought became so overwhelming that the other gods had to intervene, fearing that the world might not survive her wrath. In a clever play of foresight, they devised a plan to calm her ferocity with a potion of red beer, artfully crafted to look like blood, a nod to her bloodthirsty nature. As Sekhmet consumed the concoction, her rage subsided, reminding all of her complexity as both a destroyer and a healer. Ultimately, the story of Sekhmet serves as a potent reminder of the delicate balance that exists within the universe, themes mirrored in the lives of those who invoke her name. As we are introduced to this powerful goddess, we can't help but reflect on our own struggles with wrath and redemption. In the shadow of the pyramids, the roar of Sekhmet resonates with a primal energy that has echoed through the ages, becoming synonymous with both fear and reverence. As the goddess of war and destruction, her presence on the battlefield was nothing short of terrifying. Her roar could shake the very foundations of the earth. The legends recount horrifying tales of her rampages, where entire armies would quiver before her, paralyzed by the anticipation of her fury. Battles were fought in her honor, with warriors invoking her name for strength. Even as they dreaded what she could unleash, she was the embodiment of celestial wrath. In these confrontations, her roar would strike like thunder, a clarion call that signified an impending storm of violence. The graphic depictions during religious ceremonies conveyed the sheer exhilaration and terror she inspired. Followers might tremble as they chanted her names in ritualistic reverence. Yet amid the chaos, there was unspoken excitement. In portraying the conflict between good and evil, Sekhmet became a symbol of the fierce protective spirit that lay dormant within the hearts of the faithful. How exhilarating it must have been to engage with such a power, to stand beside a deity. Ultimately, the roar of Sekhmet serves as a potent reminder of the intricate balance between destruction and harmony, inviting the audience to explore the depths of her true nature. Her ferocious aspect forces us to confront our own fears, reflecting the darker sides of our existence. The fears that rush through every story of her battle signal not only the danger she embodies, but also the necessity of her destructive nature in preserving order. As the tales continue to unfold, one cannot help but wonder, is the roar of a goddess merely a warning, or is it a call to awaken? Each echo sends us spiraling into contemplation, hungry for understanding of Sekhmet's fierce essence as we draw nearer to the heart of her legend. Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of destruction, was also revered as the fierce protector of the pharaohs, embodying strength and courage. In ancient Egypt, warriors looked to her as a divine guardian, confident that her ferocious spirit would shield them from harm. Renowned for her interventions in battles, Sekhmet not only inspired fear in the hearts of their enemies, but also instilled confidence among her followers. She became a talisman of bravery for soldiers, for her presence alongside them meant they were backed by an indomitable force of nature. What might it have felt like for a pharaoh knowing that a goddess stood watch over him, ready to unleash her wrath for the sake of justice? Legends tell of numerous occasions when Sekhmet intervened directly in combat, tilting the tides of war in favor of the righteous. During a fierce battle against foreign invaders, it's said that pharaohs would invoke her name with powerful incantations, calling forth her strength. In many such accounts, her involvement transformed a desperate situation. Warriors reported seeing flashes of lioness fury on the horizon, a wrathful presence charging into the fray, leading their armies with a roar that reverberated in their hearts, inspiring them to fight more fiercely. Could such a mere invocation of her name conjure the courage buried deep within a soldier's soul? Through tales of miraculous escapes and triumphant victories attributed to her influence, Sekhmet grew to symbolize not only the destructive aspects of war, but the vital role of protecting. Her legendary battles against Set, the god of chaos, serve as compelling reminders that she was not merely a figure of vengeance, but a champion of order. In these stories, Sekhmet often manifested as a lioness, guiding soldiers back to victory while punishing those who threatened the balance. Each narrative paints her not simply as a harbinger of destruction, but as an essential force, upholding righteousness against the chaotic tide of life. What deeper lessons on strength and justice can we learn from such rich symbolism? As ancient Egyptians turned their gazes to Sekhmet for protection, they understood that her dual nature was not just a paradox, but an essential part of their existence. Her fierce loyalty to the pharaohs reflects a broader understanding that protection often comes with the threat of ferocity. To be shielded by Sekhmet was to embrace a powerful force that demanded respect and courage from those she guarded. Today, these ancient stories resonate through time, inviting us to see her not only as a goddess of war, but as a potent protector and defender of justice. The question remains, how can we embody the spirit of Sekhmet in our own lives, standing fiercely for what we believe while embodying a commitment to protect those who uphold the principles of truth? Each recounting of her legendary battles invites us to reflect on our own roles. Worshippers grappled with Sekhmet's dual nature, as her roar signified both battle and solace. Her energy could manifest as wrath or compassion, urging followers to seek mercy. This duality raises questions about existence. Ancient practices reflected Sekhmet's duality. Temples served as spaces for wrath and healing, with rituals to appease her. Priests performed ecstatic worship, channeling her energy, unsure if it would bring punishment or healing. The unpredictability of Sekhmet's actions emphasized life's balance of joy and suffering. Rituals became a theater for these forces, with offerings made for favor. Supplicants sought protection and healing, believing she could transform pain into strength. Sekhmet's transformative aspect reminded followers that suffering leads to growth. Her existence challenges us to confront our dualities, acknowledging nature's darker sides while valuing mercy and restoration. Destruction can lead to renewal. Sekhmet embodies destruction and healing, reflecting the human condition. Her fierce persona compels us to respect devastation, while her healing aspect teaches mercy. This duality invites us to embrace both sides of existence for a fuller life. Sekhmet's role as a goddess of medicine and healing is revered. Despite her fierce roar, she was believed to restore health. This paradox invites exploration of how she could both unleash plagues and mend broken bodies and spirits. Rituals in Sekhmet's honor emphasized her healing abilities. Temples became sanctuaries of wellness, with sacred oils and ceremonies invoking her benevolence. Devotees offered flowers, incense, and food, seeking her healing touch. A notable ritual involved crossing thresholds, symbolizing life and death, pain and relief. Participants walked barefoot across a sand circle, connecting with Sekhmet. This sacred act offered introspection and a prayerful journey for the afflicted. The same fierce goddess capable of inflicting suffering could just as easily be their sanctuary of healing, teaching her followers that both destruction and restoration are integral to life. With the knowledge that she wielded both wrath and compassion, those who sought her aid had to confront the inherent complexity of their existence. The stories of Sekhmet compel us to recognize that healing often springs from acknowledging our pain, embracing the dichotomy of being both warrior and healer. As we ponder her profound legacy, the lingering question remains: how can we, too, find healing in our own lives amid the struggles we face? Each tale and ritual continues to resonate, pushing us to understand that within suffering lies the potential for regeneration and rebirth. As we turn to the captivating legends of Sekhmet, we find a wealth of stories that reveal her immense might intertwined with her compassionate heart. One of the most notable tales recounts the goddess leading the Egyptian armies against foreign invaders. With a thunderous roar that echoed across the desert, she sprang into action, defending her homeland with unyielding ferocity. Warriors who fought alongside her believed they could feel her presence. But as the dust settled and victory seemed assured, the narrative takes an intriguing twist. These same warriors found themselves questioning whether her wrath could lead to mercy or further destruction, highlighting her role as both protector and potential harbinger of doom. In another stirring anecdote, Sekhmet's character unfolds in a more nuanced tale during a time of plague that struck the land. The people, terrified and desperate, turned to their revered goddess, seeking an end to their suffering. Moved by their plight, she manifested in the form of a lioness. She brought healing waters that quenched the thirst of the afflicted, while also dispelling the darkness that surrounded them. The villagers believed that seeking her gaze could lead to healing from their ailments, creating an air of hope that filled the atmosphere. However, the tension remains. Would Sekhmet grant mercy, or would her wrath consume those who wronged her in the past? This crucial turning point keeps the audience guessing as to how she will respond to the cries for help. Yet, not all stories illustrate her as a warrior. Some highlight the goddess's compassionate nature. In a remarkable legend, Sekhmet encountered a desperate mother mourning the loss of her sick child. Seeing the deep sorrow etched on the woman's face and sensing the mother's unwavering love, Sekhmet decided to intervene. She gifted the child with the breath of life, restoring health and vitality. This moment embodied the goddess's dual nature, one who could cause devastation, yet just as easily restore joy and health. But as her benevolence shone through, the question lingered: why did she save this child when countless others suffered? This narrative beckons viewers to consider the criteria. As we explore these legends, we see that Sekhmet stands not simply as a goddess of destruction or healer, but as a multifaceted force intertwined with the fate of humanity. Her tales of fierce battles, acts of mercy, and complex decision-making paint a vivid picture of a deity that is as unpredictable. With each story acting as a cliffhanger, audiences are left to ponder: what will Sekhmet do next? Will her next roar signal calamity or comfort? The dual nature of her character pushes us to reflect on our understanding of power, compassion, and the intricate balance that exists within us all. As we continue to unveil the layers of Sekhmet, we find ourselves drawn ever closer to the heart of a goddess who embodies life, death, and the myriad choices that lie in between. Throughout the ages, the worship of Sekhmet transitioned and evolved, reflecting the changing tides of power and belief. Famous texts describe how priests would conduct elaborate ceremonies that involved chanting sacred hymns and invoking her essence to heal the sick and to ward off chaos. Yet, as the tales unfold, one can't help but wonder whether the very act of summoning her presence could also provoke her fearsome side. This intricate dynamic kept worshippers in a delicate balance, emphasizing the complexity of their relationship with this formidable deity. During the height of her worship, the significance of Sekhmet spread beyond mere rituals and offerings. She was intricately woven into the socio-political fabric of ancient Egypt, where pharaohs would depict her in their monuments to symbolize divine protection over their reigns. Kings often invoked her name during military campaigns, believing that her presence would ensure their victory. Statues of Sekhmet were carried into battle as potent reminders of her might, serving as both a blessing and a warning. As viewers hear these accounts, they might eagerly reflect on how her influence shaped not just lives, but the very history of a civilization. What choices did leaders make in their quest for power while invoking a goddess so intricately tied to both wrath and healing? The worship of Sekhmet did not fade with the fall of the Egyptian dynasties. Her legacy endures, manifesting in various forms through art, literature, and modern spiritual practices. Today, Sekhmet's influence can be seen in the revival of ancient Egyptian spirituality, where she is still honored as a symbol of strength and renewal. Various practitioners seek her guidance for empowerment, exploring the depths of her duality in personal journeys of healing. As her rites and rituals have transcended time, the contemporary world continues to grapple with understanding her complexity. How does her story resonate with modern seekers seeking balance in their own lives? The enduring nature of Sekhmet invites us to reflect on the ways we, too, navigate our own complexities, bringing us closer to the heart of a goddess whose voice booms through the corridors of history, beckoning us to listen. To comprehend the essence of Sekhmet, one must first explore the rich symbolism that surrounds her. The lioness is perhaps the most iconic representation associated with her, embodying strength, courage, and ferocity. With the head of a lioness and the body of a woman, Sekhmet stands as a formidable figure within the Egyptian pantheon, signifying her prowess as both a warrior and protector. This lioness imagery captures the essence of her dual nature, illustrating how she could unleash her wrath upon those who threatened humanity while simultaneously serving as a guardian of those who honored her. Audiences might ask themselves, what deeper qualities does the lioness symbolize in relation to our own experiences of bravery and vulnerability? The sun disk, often depicted atop her head, serves as another crucial symbol of Sekhmet's identity. Revered as a manifestation of solar energy, this emblem reflects her connection to Ra, the sun god, from whom she was born. The sun disk not only signifies her powerful, fiery nature, but also connects her to the cycles of life and death. In Egyptian ideology, the sun represented not just the life-giving force, but also the harshness of its heat, which aligns perfectly with Sekhmet's capabilities to both destroy and heal. The question arises, how does the sun disk enhance our understanding of her influence on the rhythm of existence itself? As we ponder this connection, we uncover the philosophical implications of light and darkness represented through her persona. These plagues, manifestations of chaos meant to teach the people a lesson, threaten to unravel the very fabric of order that Sekhmet was sworn to protect. Each plague was a harbinger of destruction that descended upon the land. Locusts swarmed the fields, disease ravaged the populace, and darkness cloaked the sun. As the faithful cried out for aid, desperation filled the air, calling forth the lion-headed goddess who embodies both destruction and healing. What unfathomable power might she wield to confront such formidable chaos? As Sekhmet emerged from the shadows of the temples, her fierce roar echoed across the plains. With the fire of Ra coursing through her veins, she unleashed her wrath upon the first of the 7 calamities, a wave of scorching heat that swept through the land, causing the ground to tremble. The overwhelming force of her presence turned the tide, illuminating the dark sky with her solar energy. Yet, as each plague fell to her might, an unsettling tension hung in the air. Would Sekhmet's destruction escalate further, spiraling into chaos? Or would she find a way to restore balance in a world teetering on the brink of annihilation? In a stunning turn of events, as Sekhmet battled the plagues, she began to recognize a pattern within their relentless assault. Each calamity was not merely an enemy to vanquish, but a reflection of the moral decay and suffering that had plagued humanity. The goddess faced a profound dilemma. Could she destroy them all without risking the very order she sought to uphold? With her divine insight, Sekhmet paused, considering the deeper implications of her actions. Ultimately, Sekhmet employed her might not only to vanquish the plagues, but also to transform their energy into a force for renewal and restoration. By absorbing their chaotic essence, she crafted a new order from the ashes of destruction. As the dust settled and the atmosphere cleared, it became evident that the fierce goddess had not merely triumphed over chaos, but had also paved the way for healing. The wisdom of her actions lingers in the hearts of those who hear the tale. What futures might unfold if we embrace both the destructive and healing powers that reside within us, much like Sekhmet herself? This question resonates deeply, inviting us to explore our own roles in the delicate balance of life. As we explore the legacy of Sekhmet, it becomes evident that her influence continues to reverberate throughout modern culture and spirituality. Her dual nature, representing both destruction and healing, resonates deeply with contemporary audiences. In art, Sekhmet's lion-headed visage emerges as a powerful symbol of strength and resilience, inspiring countless artists to portray her in various forms, from traditional sculptures to modern abstract interpretations. These artistic representations serve as reminders of the ancient goddess's relevance, inviting us to consider how her qualities reflect our own struggles and triumphs. How can such a historically significant figure still evoke such strong emotions today? In literature, Sekhmet stories provide fertile ground for exploration of themes of power, balance, and the consequences of human actions. Authors and poets often draw upon her legend to illustrate the eternal conflict between chaos and order. As we consider the themes she represents, we recognize her call for us to confront our chaos while seeking paths to restoration. Whether through art, literature, or popular culture, her enduring presence encourages us to find meaning in our struggles and healing in our experiences. As we navigate the complexities of our lives, Sekhmet reminds us of the power we possess to shape our narratives and transform our challenges into opportunities for growth. What resonant truths lie in her roar today, urging us to reclaim our strength and embrace the healing that comes from acknowledging our duality. The exploration of her enduring influence invites us to take a step forward, closer to understanding the powerful legacy of a goddess whose spirit forever echoes through the corridors of time. In today's world, many individuals and communities seek Sekhmet not just as a historical figure, but as a source of empowerment. Spiritual practitioners often turn to the goddess in their rituals, invoking her strength to navigate life's challenges. Through meditation, prayer, and visualization, followers envision Sekhmet's fierce energy enveloping them, providing courage during their struggles. Some practitioners create altars adorned with her iconography, where they light candles and offer prayers for healing or protection. Each flickering flame serves as a bright reminder of her dual nature, encapsulating the push and pull of destruction and renewal. Art, too, plays a significant role in how individuals express their connection to Sekhmet. Artists around the world draw upon her symbolism to confront their own inner battles and triumphs. From powerful paintings to intricate sculptures, creative expressions become modern offerings. Social media platforms showcase art related to Sekhmet, creating flourishing communities where people share their interpretations and stories of how the goddess inspires them. Artists often ask, "What does Sekhmet evoke for you?" This question encourages a dialogue about her multifaceted nature. Community rituals also thrive as modern pilgrims gather in the spirit of Sekhmet, reenacting ancient traditions that honor this duality. Festivals celebrating her might and mercy emerge in various forms, where individuals come together to share their stories, celebrate healing, and empower each other. These gatherings often incorporate chants, drumming, and dance, echoing ancient practices that once filled the temples of old. Participants are reminded that seeking Sekhmet is not an individual journey, but a collective experience, and every shared moment of strength reinforces the bonds of a community. Ultimately, the modern pilgrimage to Sekhmet represents a deeper exploration of our innate desire for strength and healing. Her qualities appeal to those grappling with personal challenges, those yearning for empowerment, and those navigating the tumultuous waters of life. In seeking Sekhmet, people find a pathway to confront their fears and celebrate their victories, illuminating the enduring legacy of a goddess who embodies both the fierce roar of destruction and the gentle embrace of healing. As we reflect on these contemporary connections, the question arises: how might we apply Sekhmet's guidance in our own spiritual quests?